What is up, everybody? It's Cody with Blood Money MMA Bets, and I'm back with another full card breakdown. This is for UFC Vegas 90, Allen versus Curtis 2. It was supposed to be Brendan Allen versus Marvin Vettori, but Vettori got hurt. That would have been a pretty good fight, too. But this is going to be a good one. It's a rematch where they fought before, and Chris Curtis came in on short notice and knocked him out then in the small cage. So we'll see how this rematch works out, but it does have some pretty decent fights on it. I found some pretty good betting spots already. Pretty much a lot of underdogs. Like there's a lot of really good underdogs on this card. Before we get into all that stuff, everybody hit that like button, hit the subscribe button for me if you already haven't. I put out content every week. I break down fights. We do a live show with Defend Your Units with my boy Johnny K Picks. So hit the bell notifications if you want to know when we do live shows and all that. But hit the like and subscribe button if you want to get my bets and when I post them throughout the week. Check me out on Twitter and Instagram. Both them links are down below in the description, and that's where I post my bets each day. We're going to do a quick recap of UFC Atlantic City, and then we will get right into UFC Vegas 90. UFC Atlantic City, I got my butt kicked. I went 1-4 for minus 9.25 units. Yeah, man, it was just a bad night at the office. My one winning bet was Buckley versus Lukasz over 1.5, and that barely made it over because Lukasz wanted to quit. It was the weirdest night of fights ever between the fighting, the refereeing, the judging, just like everything was wild. So got that, and then Lukasz like abruptly quit maybe like a minute afterwards. It was weird because he, used to be one of the biggest dogs in the UFC. My 4 losing bets, I had SD Dumas minus 200 on that. I had bet him at plus 250. And yeah, it wasn't looking that great for him, but we knew it wasn't going to look great for him in the first round. And then he got poked in the eye and then he got blasted. So maybe that's what he got for all of all the stuff he does outside the cage. Maybe that's just one of them things, but minus 2 units for it. Second losing bet was Bazooka versus Matthews over 2.5, minus 3.3 units on that. And to be honest, that looked like one of the best over picks I've made this year. Neither guy got hurt. Nothing was happening the whole first 2 rounds, just some back and forth. 15 seconds into the third, man, Matthews never got finished, gets hit, gets clipped, and finished by Bazooka, who doesn't finish anybody. 9 of his 15 fights have went to decision, but is what it is, man. One of them nights. And then my third losing bet, I had Jamal Emmers parlayed with Colin Loughran, and Loughran looked good. He fought a really tough guy. Jamal Emmers, looked like he had I don't even know, the worst fight IQ I've ever seen. He comes out, he lands a big shot on Nate Landwehr. It didn't rock him or nothing. He just lands a big shot, and then he just decides to empty the tank in the first 2 minutes and doesn't get Nate out of there. He tried to junkyard dog, and that junkyard dog showed up and beat the shit out of him. So if I'm going to lose a bet, man, I'd like it to be like that. If somebody has bad fight IQ, I like them to get punched to sleep, lay on their back, hit with some hammer fists, because that's what Emmers deserve, fighting like that. So minus 3.05 units on that. And the 4th losing bet was Landwehr versus Emmers over 2.5, minus 2.9 units on that. And that all came down to backing a guy with bad fight IQ. You know what I mean? Usually Emmers, you could see how much faster and more powerful he was. And I expected him in the big cage to work the outside, land some leg kicks, catch Landwehr when he's coming in. But no, he literally went out there and tried to junkyard dog him, and he got junkyard dog. So good for Emmers. And Nate Landwehr is the dog. So shout out Nate Landwehr, dude. I never should have faded a dog, That brings my official bet record. This is actually wrong. I wrote it wrong. 2024, I'm 27-27 for minus 16.2 units. It's not 18.2, it's 16.2. I was down 6.95 units last week, and then I lost at 9.25. So it's actually 16.2 units. Brings my overall betting record to and I messed this up too. It's 224 and 240. I forgot to update the one win on this one. So 224 and 240 for plus 102.9 units. And the last couple of weeks been bad, man. It's been a tough year all around. There hasn't been very many good cards. And I'm making bad bets and then just, bad luck. So it is what it is, man. We're going to have to come back from this and have a good week this week. Like I said, I already got a bunch of bets in for this week. I already got 4 bets, 3 underdogs and 1 parlay. And most likely the 4th bet will either be another underdog or maybe a over under or something. But we'll see. But yeah, like I said, man, if you want to get the bets early, or I'm gonna post them on Twitter, on X. I'm not gonna really do any other stuff. Hit the like and sub button. That's it, man. We're gonna get right into this UFC Vegas 90 card. And like I said, it's a pretty good fight. I don't know which one I'd like to see better, Vettori or or Curtis, but at least we're getting the rematch. So we'll see what happens. First fight is in the men's middleweight division. We got Dylan Budka versus Cesar Almeida, and Dylan Budka's coming in on short notice. Cesar Almeida was supposed to fight somebody else. I was just looking somebody good, but that fight got canceled. Oh, Josh Friend, not somebody good, but somebody that would beat up Dylan Budka. But so Dylan Budka, he is 7-2, currently sitting at minus 165, 6 foot with the 75-inch reach. Cesar Almeida is 4-0, 36 years old, 6'1 with the 74-inch reach. So everything's about even. Almeida's 1 inch taller with 1 inch less of reach, but then you see that Almeida's 12 years older. But with the 12 years comes experience. Dylan Budka, he's a wrestler. He wrestled at Notre Dame. And he's got pretty decent wrestling. He's got decent striking. He's not really knocking nobody out. He's got okay ground and pound, but hasn't really fought anybody all that great. If you go back, he fought this dude right here and lost. And that dude was okay, this Russian dude, but he just all he really has is wrestling. You know, you see a lot of decisions out here. He's finishing, you know, guys in 9 seconds. It's 2-10. But when you go watch him, like even against these lower level guys, that he's going to like Wes Schultz and this, that was a really good fight too. That dude wasn't too bad. It's just that like Budka, the only thing he can do is try to wrestle you down and hold you there. And he's pretty good at that, but he doesn't really inflict no damage. And I'm not really high on his jiu-jitsu. I'm not really sure why he's the minus 165 favorite. He was, Almeida started at like minus 170 and now he's like plus 140. But Cesar Almeida, this dude's actually good. He was a pro kickboxer for a while. That's why he's 36 right now, just really kind of starting his UFC career, MMA career. He's 4-0. But this guy has been kickboxing for a long time. He's got a win over Alex Pereira in kickboxing. He's got 2 losses over him too, but he's went to decision with him 3 times. So that shows the durability of him. This Donovan Weiss dude that he fought right here to a majority decision loss, that guy's like the best kickboxer in kickboxing right now. And he could have won that fight. And that was just in 2019. He fought him to a really another close fight back in 2023. So the dude's well-rounded. But the biggest thing is on this Lucas Fernando that he fought on the Contender Series. Man, he showed a pretty well-rounded game because this Lucas Fernando dude was pretty big, 6'3", 81-inch reach, and he came in, was throwing powerful strikes. He's known for knocking people out, and he's got good wrestling and good jiu-jitsu, man, and he could not out-wrestle or out-jiu-jitsu Cesar Almeida. When it was on the feet, Almeida was able to land big shots, and then also Almeida was able to land takedowns of his own in the 3rd round and get some control time. In this fight, I'm taking Cesar Almeida. Unless Dylan Budka can literally just sit there and hold him against the cage the whole time, because he's not going to take him down and choke him out. Almeida showed pretty good jiu-jitsu. Almeida showed good takedown defense, and he showed he's really strong. And anytime these guys are at range, Almeida is going to hit him with the bigger shots. And what we've seen from the judges recently is they don't care if you hold a guy down for 3 minutes and 30 seconds. If that guy gets up in the last minute and hits you with some big shots, he's going to win that round. Not only that, but Cesar Almeida has the chance to finish this fight throughout. He's way more dangerous. I like Cesar Almeida here a lot, man. When I was doing this tape study last week, he was a favorite, and now he's a big underdog, and that's kind of wild. But give me Cesar Almeida either by finish or just decision, like scoring way more damage in this fight. Like I've seen Dylan Budka reversed by people. I'm not that impressed with him at all. Next fight is gonna be a dog fight, man. My things are a little out of order. Obviously, they changed a couple of these fights up, but men's featherweight division, we got Morgan Charriere versus Chepe Mariscal. Morgan Charriere is 19-9-1, currently sitting at, he's at like minus 130 right now. 28 years old, 5'8" with the 69-inch reach. Chepe Mariscal, the junkyard dog, is 5'6", 31 years old, 5'7" with 15-6, 5'7" with the 69-inch reach, and he's currently sitting at plus 130. Charriere, you've seen him in France, man, beat the crap out of the Zucchini dude from Italy. He was able to hit him with a big body kick and then just kept kicking him in the body and got that win in the 1st round there. He stopped his last 3 opponents, but he's not really a crazy finisher like that. Like he has been. He's been looking really good. The one was a doctor stoppage. But before that, a weird stat with this dude, he's got in his last 12 fights, right? He's got 6 finishes and he's got 6 split and majority. Look at all these majority decisions that he's barely winning. Right here. Majority decision, 2018. Wins a split decision, wins a majority decision, wins a split decision, knocks this dude out, knocks this dude out, wins a split, wins a majority, wins a split, and then knocks these 3 dudes out. 6 of his last 12 fights have went to majority or split, and the other 6 have been knockouts. And I don't really think he's going to knock out Chepe Mariscal here. But Morgan Charriere, super fast, super good striking. He's coming forward. He's using feints. He's backing you up, and he's making you tired with that. And then he's just countering you when you swing on him, even though he's coming forward with the pressure. He's got super fast kicks, super fast punches. He does have 9 losses, but he's a young dude, and he started fighting when he was like 18. A lot of his losses are way early in his career. He does have a submission win over William Gomez, which is a really nice win. And he's super durable. I seen him get hurt in one fight that he lost. He lost split decision to, I believe, Paul Kelly. But he still looked good in that until he started getting hurt. And then that was a 5-round fight too. But very well-rounded, pretty decent wrestling. He won't have the better wrestling or judo here, but he's got decent wrestling. And he's very fast, very technical. Chepe Mariscal, the junkyard dog, man. This dude's well-rounded. He's got a judo black belt. He wrestled in college. Excellent striking, training out of Elevation Fight Team there in Colorado with Justin Gaethje and them. He's got powerful leg kicks of his own. He's tough as hell. You've seen him eating crazy leg kicks against Jack Jenkins, was still able to get the win there with the judo toss that hurt his arm, hurt Jenkins' shoulder. Then you've seen against Trevor Peak, man, that he can take big shots. He can go 3 hard rounds. That was on short notice, and that he can fight, man. The dude's well-rounded everywhere, can take a big punch, and he can out-junkyard dog another junkyard dog. So the dude's super tough. I'm going with Chepe Mariscal here, man. I know Morgan Charriere's going to be more technical early on. He's definitely going to be landing the bigger shots in the first round, but Chepe is going to be landing his shots too. And as the fight goes, man, as Morgan Charriere's explosiveness and speed wears off a little bit and he comes down to Chepe's level, Chepe is going to start working him. Not only that, but Chepe's got the better grappling here, in my opinion. And he's just going to push a pace. So I know he was like plus 140 the other day. I was watching where that line went. He's plus 105 now. But give me Chepe Mariscal here. But that's going to be a good fight because Morgan Charriere, he's definitely not a punk. He's only got 1 finished loss in them nine losses, and that was by submission. I'm sorry, too, if I sound ridiculous today, but I've had some head cold or like allergies the last 3 days, and my head has just felt foggy. Next fight is in the men's welterweight division. We got Court McGee versus Alex Morono. Court McGee is 21-12, currently sitting at plus 240, 39 years old, 5'11", with the 75.5-inch reach. Alex Morono is 23-9, currently sitting at minus 300, 33 years old, 5'11", with the 72-inch reach. So you see, Court McGee is 6 years older, and then he's going to have a 3.5-inch reach advantage, and he has a lot of miles on the tank. Court McGee, 39, almost 40 years old. He did have some really good wrestling, really good cardio, pretty good jiu-jitsu, and he used to be known to be really, really, really durable, man. He had only had 1 KO loss in his whole career leading up to what Jeremiah Wells did to him. But in 2022, Jeremiah Wells hit him with that big left hook, sent him to the shadow realms for a while. Then he comes back 1 year later, and fights Matt Brown and gets hit with a kind of a baby shot. Matt Brown hits hard, but he hasn't been really knocking people out lately. And he got hit with 1 decent shot in the first round and went down with the first hard shot he landed. So decent wrestling, decent jiu-jitsu, good gas tank, and usually pretty tough. But Alex Morono, he's a very well-rounded fighter too. You see, he's 33 years old. He's got a ton of experience in the UFC. He's got some submissions. He's got some knockouts. He's had some good fights, some bad fights. But what he does is a herky-jerky striking style where he's coming in and out. He gets you coming in, swinging, and then he pops you with some shots, catch you off balance, can hit you hard and finish you. But he can also grapple, wrestle. He's got the BJJ too. In this fight, it would be a good fight, like 7-8 years ago when Court McGee was like 32, 33 even, because he would have been able to take the shots better. But I just don't think he can take the shots here. We've seen Alex Morono clip Ponzinibbio and drop a bunch. We've seen him clip people and drop them. We've seen him choke out Tim Means. He's still got some good fight in him. I think Court McGee, I don't even know if I would be fighting again if I'm him. I'm 40. I've been knocked out bad in my last 2 fights. I know he's getting money, but his chin's gone. His toughness is gone. The first time that Alex Morono hits him hard, I think this fight's going to be over. So give me Alex Morono. I'm going to take him by KO. He's just going to be too fast. He's going to dart in with a punch and just catch him. You know what I mean? So Alex Morono by KO. Next fight's in the men's bantamweight division. We got Gene Matsumoto versus Dan Argueta. Matsumoto is 14-0, currently sitting at minus 205. 24 years old, 5'6" with the 68.5-inch reach. Dan Argueta is 9-1, currently sitting at plus 165, 30 years old, 5'7" with the 68-inch reach. So you see, everything's about the same. Argueta's 1 inch taller and 6 years older. Both of them are in their prime. So Matsumoto, man, this dude Matsumoto has good striking. Like, he's good, crisp, technical striking. He's built real thick and dense for the weight division. Pretty good leg kicks. Like he throws a ton of powerful leg kicks. He's got good straight punch combinations. He's not coming wide with hooks and that. He's throwing straight punches, good uppercut. The leg kicks are probably the best thing that I liked about his game. And he's well-rounded. He's been training, they said, since he was like 5 years old. So he does have good takedown defense. He doesn't usually use too much offensive wrestling in his fights, but I've seen him land some takedowns. But he does have good takedown defense. He's got pretty good jiu-jitsu, but he's a striker. He wants to be standing up. He wants to be punching you in the face with straight punches and hitting you with leg kicks. He's got pretty decent strength of schedule. He's fought some pretty good guys outside of the UFC. Had a good win on the Contender Series of Casey Tanner, who is a pretty good wrestler and good striking that trained out of Fight Ready. So he was a good opponent. But you see, man, he's been fighting guys 7-0, 9-1, 9-3, 13-6, 10-3. So he's had pretty good experience, but not as good as Dan Argueta, man. This dude, obviously, like I said, he's a little older, but he's fought the way better competition. Been in there with Miles Johns, Damon Jackson, on the Contender Series with Tercios, and just good training too. I know he trains with the Gracies and trains out of Jackson Wink, but on the Ultimate Fighter was showing him training. Well, he trains with Cub Swanson too, so he's been all around. But on the Ultimate Fighter, he was training out of a Gracie gym though, for his jiu-jitsu, but very well-rounded, decent striking. It's not terrible, but it's not the greatest. And then he does have good wrestling and good jiu-jitsu. He's a college wrestler, and his jiu-jitsu is good. You see when he fought Ronnie Lawrence, even though it was a premature stoppage, which is crazy. These refs got to get on their jobs, man. But Ronnie Lawrence, was a good wrestler, but as soon as Argueta, they went to the ground, he showed that he's levels above in the jiu-jitsu. So jiu-jitsu is excellent. This is a very, very, very tough fight to call because I've seen Matsumoto. I've seen him taken down and controlled for a whole round by another Brazilian dude. He had fought. I went back. This Santos, Indiano Santos, which the guy was good, but he's lost 2 fights in a row since then. But I did see that guy take him down in the first round, held him down, started beating him up a little bit in the second round before Matsumoto took over, because Matsumoto does have good cardio. And Argueta, he seems to slow down when he grapples really hard. But I'm telling you, this is a tough fight to call because Argueta, man, if he can get his wrestling going, which he may be able to do in this fight, and his jiu-jitsu, he's either going to get a lot of control time or possibly even a submission. Man, it's a tough fight to call. I'm going to take Matsumoto just because his takedown defense has looked really good. And we've seen Argueta out-wrestled by better wrestlers, so he's not the highest level of wrestler in the UFC. So I'm going to say Matsumoto is going to be able to stop most of the takedowns, use his get-up game to get up, and he's going to land he's going to have the better striking. Straight punches, his leg kicks, they're going to cause some damage. I don't think he gets Argueta out of there because Argueta's tough as nails. So give me Matsumoto by decision, but I won't be shocked if Dan Argueta gets that win there. Next fight is in the women's strawweight division. We got Cynthia Calvillo versus Piera Rodriguez. Cynthia Calvillo is 9-6-1, currently sitting at plus 130, 36 years old, 5'4" with a 64-inch reach. Piera Rodriguez is 9-1, currently sitting at minus 155, 31 years old, 5'3" with a 63.5-inch reach. So you see Cynthia's going to be a little bigger, one inch taller with a half an inch of reach. And yeah, you see right there, Cynthia Calvillo has lost her last 5 fights. She did go up to 125 and lost most of them there. All 4 of them she lost up at 125. And if you look at who she lost to, they're very good girls. Caitlin Chukagian, Jessica Andrade, Andrea Lee, Nina Nunes, and then she lost to Lupi by split and Nina Nunes by split. But I thought she won both them fights. The Nina Nunes one was at 125. She used to fight at 115 and she used to beat girls up, but then she just had problems making the weight. You seen against Poliana Botella. She had a decent fight with Carla Esparza. She beat Joanne Wood, who you see is tough. She's got a win over Montana De La Rosa, Jillian Robertson. So this girl can wrestle, grapple, and box. She threw 300 punches against Lupi, was beating her up with that jab. She landed the only takedown of the fight and had like 3 minutes of control time. But if you take her last 5 losses, all 5 of them girls would throw a beating on Piera Rodriguez. You know what I mean? Like Lupi would beat Piera, Nina would beat Piera, especially up at 125. Andrea Lee, Jessica Andrade, Caitlin, all them girls. Jessica I would beat her too. And if you go back, Jillian Robertson, all them girls would beat her. Piera Rodriguez is decent. She's got decent striking. She hasn't really, she's got decent boxing and decent movement. She's got okay wrestling and grappling, and that's the way she likes to win her fights. You see, she tried. I thought she lost to Sam Hughes, to be honest. I don't know how that was just a straight up unanimous decision. I went back and watched that fight, and it seemed like Sam Hughes won the first round, and the second, third were very close. But I thought Hughes won the third round too. It was pretty crazy to me. that it was just a unanimous decision. But before that, she went 29-28 over Kay Hansen. She hasn't fought nobody good. You know what I mean? She used grappling to win on the Contender Series. She's getting pieced up there. Used grappling to win in the third round over Kay Hansen. She tried to use grappling, but couldn't really out-grapple Sam Hughes. Landed some takedowns, but couldn't hold her down. And then, like I said, I thought she got beat there. And then Jillia Robertson just dominated. She actually was backing her up in the striking, hitting her with good strikes. Got taken down in the first round and then reversed it and then beat the crap out of her and then ended up finishing her in the second. I'm all over Cynthia Calvillo here. I think she looked good dropping back down to 115. She's obviously more dedicated now at 120. She went up to 125 because she couldn't make 115. Now that she's back down to 115 and looks dedicated, throwing 300 strikes, looks that good against Loopy, I got no reason to believe she can't beat Piera Rodriguez. She's going to have the better boxing here. Piera's going to want to grapple, and Cynthia is going to have the better wrestling and jiu-jitsu here. So give me Cynthia Calvillo. I'm sure she gets it done by decision, but it's going to be a good fight. And I like to see her taking her career seriously and coming back here. This is a giant step down in competition from the girl she's been fighting. So let me get Cynthia at dog money. Next fight is in the women's bantamweight division. My bad. I hit the wrong one. Women's bantamweight division, where we have Melissa Mullins versus Nora Cornolle. Melissa Mullins is 6-0. 32 years old, sitting at -330, 5'7" with a 68-inch reach. Nora Cornolle is 7-1, 34 years old, 5'7" with a 67-inch reach. So you see, everything's pretty even. Even the age, everything except that line, which the line to me is crazy. Melissa Mullins, she's good. She's got nice boxing. She's got a stiff jab, but it's like nothing crazy special. Good defensive, offensive, and defensive wrestling. She's got good jiu-jitsu. When she gets on the ground, when she gets on top, she's pretty heavy on top. She's got good ground and pound and good back takes. That's what she does. You can see her against what was the Russian girl, Daria, that just fought. She got her butt kicked standing up, was able to get the takedown, and then was able to land some ground and pound that got the fight stopped. It was like way premature, but she's well-rounded, tough. She's good in a scrap. She does have like her nose gets busted and bleeding all the time, which ain't never a good look. She's fighting a girl I think's getting completely disrespected here, Nora Cornolle. Not saying she's going to win, but the line's way off. This girl is tough, man. She's been fighting Muay Thai for a long time. She's 34 years old, only got 8 professional MMA fights, but she's been fighting Muay Thai for a long time. Very tough. You've seen her in her first fight against Jocelyn Edwards there in France. That she got taken down a couple times, but was able to get back up. But she was landing good strikes when they were standing. And then she showed pretty good takedown defense for a Muay Thai girl and pretty good jiu-jitsu, man. She's got powerful hands. Look at you see, she's finished 5 of her 7 wins, and she's finished her last 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 6 wins. Like she's been beating girls up, leg injury, punches, TKO, elbows. She's very mean in there. When this is on the feet, Nora Cornolle is going to be winning this fight. She's going to be landing the better shots. She's going to be the better striker. The reason I'm going to go with Melissa Mullins is because she's got good enough striking to stand and not get, finished. But then she's going to have the grappling advantage if she can get that going. And just seeing that Jocelyn Edwards was able to take down Nora Cornolle a couple times, and she's not the greatest grappler. Usually to beat Edwards, you take her down. I got to take Mullins here because I think she'll be able to get the takedowns. But if she can't take her down and hold her down, I think Cornolle will win this fight. So I'm staying away from it. But I do like Mullins, but that line is just crazy. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. Next fight is in the men's lightweight division. We got Ignacio Bahamondes versus Christos Giagos. Ignacio Bahamondes is 14-5, currently sitting at -345, 26 years old, 6'3" with a 75.5-inch reach. Giagos is 20-11, currently sitting at +270, 34 years old, 5'11" with a 5'10" with a 71.5-inch reach. So you see Bahamondes is going to be 5 inches taller with 4 inches of reach. And Bahamondes is a crazy striker, man. He's got excellent kickboxing from both stances. He switches stances so smooth. Really good kicking game. He's going to kick you to all your legs, your body, your head, all over. And then he's got good boxing with both hands, man, from both stances. He's pumping the jab out from both stances with some power, and he still keeps the power in both hands. Great win over Trey Ogden. That's aging really well now. Choked out Rong Zhu, did that crazy wheel kick to Roosevelt Roberts to knock him out. And then last fight against Ludovic Klein, had a tough fight, got hurt in the first round, got dropped, taken down, controlled a little bit, came out the second round, won that second round, fought tough. And in the third round was just taken down and beat up a little bit, man. But Ludovic Klein showed he's a beast. He's a beast at 155. He's going to be a force to reckon with. And At 145, the dude just gassed out, but 155, he's a different animal. But Bahamondes, good everywhere. Good chokes, good kicks, very tough, excellent cardio, and he uses his length very well. Giagos, man, he's got some power. He throws a powerful left hook. That's what he was able to hurt Zellhuber with in the first round. He didn't drop him. He just stunned him a little bit, but then he ended up getting beat up and kind of choked out. Left hooked Ricky Glenn right to sleep. And before that was choked out 2 times in a row by Moises and Sarukian, who are both very good grapplers. Against Soriano, he got beat up in the first round and came out in the second round when Soriano slowed down and was able to finish it. But Soriano's a glorified 145er, though. But he's decent. When the going gets tough, he tends to fold. He's got power in his left hook. He's got pretty good wrestling and decent jiu-jitsu, but, he's never really using that to win fights. He's more trying to strike, and he's either getting knocked out or subbed in the end. He's only gotten knocked out twice, but he's been subbed 6 times. So he got 8 finished losses out of his 11. And he's a good first-round fighter. I don't think he finishes Bahamondes in the first round. I think this is a really good fight. They go back and forth, but I think Bahamondes clearly takes over in the second and third and possibly gets the finish. I would say by KO, but because he's more of a striker. But Giagos likes to go out by sub, and Bahamondes, like I said, had that Darce choke over Rangzhou. So maybe he hits one here. But I got Bahamondes. I think he gets the job done one way or another. Next fight is in the men's heavyweight division. We got Valter Walker versus Lukasz Brzeski. And I need to find it right here. Men's heavyweight division. Lukasz Brzeski's 8-4-1. Currently sitting at plus 280, 31 years old, 6'4" with a 78.3-inch reach. Valter Walker, Johnny Walker's brother, is 11-0. Currently sitting at minus 350, 26 years old, 6'6" with the 81.5-inch reach. So you see, he's huge, man. He's two inches taller, with 3 inches of reach advantage here, and he's going to be a lot bigger in any heavyweights he fights. Lukasz Brzeski, terrible takedown defense, but a pretty good get-up game. We've seen that against Carl Williams. Williams was able to take him down, but he kept fighting and getting up. And but standing, his striking isn't all that great either, so it's kind of hard for him to win fights. He did outstrike Martin Boudet. He lost that fight, but really he won that fight. And then against Carl Williams, like I said, he fought decent, but he just kept getting taken down. And by the third round, he was just too tired to get back up. Then you got Waldo Acosta-Cortez, hit him with them hooks. He was doing good with the leg kicks and stuff before that, but then was finished. He's got 7 finishes himself, 5 KOs, and 2 subs. But, man, I think back in the day when he was getting all this, he was on roids. If you look at Brzeski 5 years ago, dude, he was all jacked, and now he's just, not all jacked, kind of flabby. Valter Walker, you know what, dude? I watched tape on him, and he's not Johnny Walker by any means, and he's really not that good. He's a wrestler, but it doesn't look like he's has a wrestling background. It just looks like he's a freaking big goon. He picks dudes up, slams them down, and he's able to hold them down, but he doesn't have good jiu-jitsu. His striking's mediocre. It's slow and not good. Valter Walker is not that good. Watch him fight Alex Nicholson. Go watch that fight. It went into the 4th round. Valter Walker, Alex Nicholson was always a light heavyweight. He was always a smaller dude, big but smaller dude. That was a terrible fight. Valter Walker took him down, beat him up, and was gassed out 4 minutes into the first round. He got lucky because Nicholson gassed out with him, and Nicholson isn't all that good. So Valter Walker in the second, when he comes out so gassed, he's eating some big shots, he's throwing wacky shots. He would just land a takedown and lay on top of Nicholson. But dude, that's not going to work. That fight went to the death, dude. Them dudes were going back and forth, and Alex Nicholson doesn't belong anywhere near the UFC. So, I can't fade him with Lukasz Brzeski, even though I promise you Lukasz Brzeski might beat this man if he just keeps getting up from the takedowns and Valter Walker slows down so bad that Brzeski, and he can't take him down, Brzeski's going to beat him up standing. I promise you Valter Walker is not that good. Jesus, man, I really want to pick Brzeski, but I don't think this is the fight to fade him. Brzeski slows down too much as Walker's big ass is going to be taken down. He's going to be slowing down too, and then when they stand up, Brzeski's not dangerous. But I'm telling you, the world's going to know after this fight, most likely, that Valter Walker should not be a minus 400 over anybody in the UFC, to be honest. So taking Walker by decision because he's not freaking dangerous. I'm telling you right now, he looks like a big crazy savage, but he's not. He's not that guy. Valter Walker by decision. Next fight is in the men's lightweight division. We got Trevor Peek versus Charlie Campbell. Trevor Peek is 9-1, currently sitting at plus 185, 29 years old, 5'9" with a 70-inch reach. Charlie Campbell's 8-2, currently sitting at minus 225, 28 years old, 6 foot to 72.5 inch reach. So you see, Charlie's going to be 3 inches taller with 2.5 inches of reach. Trevor Peek, man, is a wild man. He's not technical, but he throws powerful punches. He throws powerful leg kicks. He's got okay wrestling, but he's so powerful that he can make it work. And then he's got okay jiu-jitsu. You know, he showed in his last fight that he's definitely improved in that. He slowed down. He didn't come out like a wild man against Muhammad Yahya. And he got the win there, but he did not look great, man. He didn't look great standing up. He needs to be going crazy, I think, but he takes some big shots like you've seen against Chepe Mariscal. When he takes guys down, you know, he doesn't really have great jiu-jitsu. He's just got strength to hold him down. But he does have strength for all 3 rounds. He's tough as shit. He's got crazy cardio, and he'll come at you like the whole fight. Charlie Campbell, this dude's got crazy striking. He trains out of Serra-Longo. He's got boxing is crazy. He's got KO power in both hands. He throws a sick right uppercut, man, that he really hurts guys with. You've seen him even hitting Chris Duncan with it on the Contender Series before he got knocked out brutally himself. But like I said, man, the dude's got phenomenal punches. He's got powerful leg kicks. He's finished a fight from leg kicks before. I've seen him use some offensive wrestling and jiu-jitsu to win a fight. I can't remember which dude it was. It might have been the Guillermo Santos, but he's well-rounded, and he's been training at Longo for a couple years now. The dude's tough. It's a very, very, very hard fight to pick because it's like Charlie Campbell's going to come out. He's going to start throwing hands, and he can knock people out, man. And he starts hurting people. In the last fight against Dominic Reyes, his younger brother that he fought in the UFC on short notice, he was able to knock him out. He got him hurt, and he didn't go in as crazy to finish him. But I don't know, man. This is going to be a crazy fight because it's like Charlie Campbell's going to be hurting Trevor Peek. We know that. But like Trevor Peek doesn't really get knocked out. We haven't seen him get knocked out. We've seen him take the biggest punches in the world. Then he comes back and wears them, guys. Go watch his Contender Series fight. Go watch him fight Kama Worthy in the regional scene. Any of his fights, Jason Gonzalez, you know, the dude comes back and he just keeps going. If you can't take his punches, he's going to finish you. And we've seen Charlie Campbell get finished from punches before. So I think Charlie Campbell comes out here, beats the brakes off Trevor Peek in the first round. He survives it. And because Charlie Campbell's finished all of his wins. I think maybe his first win or something was a decision. His first 2 fights went to decision, first 3 out of 4. And after that, all of his fights have been first and second round finishes, mostly first. So I think Trevor Peek survives, and I think Trevor Peek gets the finish here. So give me Trevor Peek by KO. Next fight's in the men's bantamweight division. We got Alatengheili versus Victor Hugo. Alatengheili is 16-9-2, currently sitting at plus 115, 32 years old, 5'5" with a 66.5 inch reach. Victor Hugo is 24-4, currently sitting at minus 135, 31 years old, 5'7" with a 71 inch reach. Haile Alateng is a very well-rounded UFC fighter. You know, he's been in the UFC for a long time. He's got a lot of experience, been in the UFC for at least 5 years. Beat Dana Bakhtara back in the day. That might have been his first fight in the UFC. It was back in 2019. And he was able to beat him. He's got some decent wins. Kevin Kroom, he kicked the crap out of Chad Anheliger. Lost a very close fight to Casey Kenny, who's a beast. And then he got his legs kicked off by Chris Gutierrez, but that happened. But Alatengheili is a wrestler in background. He's got pretty good jiu-jitsu. He's got 9 losses, only 1 submission. That was back in the day. And he's got really good boxing and striking, man. He's got a crazy left hook that he'll go left hook to overhand right that'll knock people. I mean, he hurts people. He hurt Kevin Kroom and knocked him out, and he caught Chad Anheliger with it like 30 times and just beat the crap out of Chad Anheliger. And he's not a bad fighter. But he's got excellent cardio, excellent toughness, and really good wrestling when he wants to use it. Victor Hugo, this guy's, you know, it's hard to get a read on him. He's got 4 fights in the last 5 years, right? He's only 31. He's only got 4 fights in the last 5 years. You see from 2019 so he didn't fight from 2019 to 2022. So from in 2022, he had these 4 fights in 5 years. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So he's only had 4 fights since 2019. So that's 5 years. But he's fought decent guys, but they're really not the best. Like 17-9. Another Brazilian dude that had been finished a ton. This dude is 15-7, 16-9 now. But a like he's never fought anybody really good. Then he fought this dude on the Contender Series. Like back in the day before he stopped fighting, and these aren't like UFC caliber guys. That guy's 44 years old. When he fought this guy was 37. So like, and a lot of Brazilians have built up records. We know this. They have built up records that aren't fighting really good guys in jungle fights and all this, and they come in the UFC and they're like 19-2, and then they just start losing. But he's not bad. He's got some sick submissions. His last two fights, like against Edward Torricall, he on the Contender Series, he was landing some takedowns. He went hard in the first round, and they were going back and forth with submissions. And then the second round, he looked like he slowed down a little bit. They were striking. It looked like Torricall was starting to do pretty good. And then they got back into a clinch, and they went to the ground. He landed the knee bar right away. Had a heel hook before that, had a leg injury before that, and then KO'd this dude in 42 seconds because that guy was not very good. But he's pretty well-rounded, powerful striking, decent wrestling, and really good jiu-jitsu. Like Torricall, that's the thing on the Contender Series. He wasn't really landing the takedowns. Torricall kept initiating the grappling with him, and then kept reversing it or just getting on top, man. And you shouldn't grapple with this dude. But I don't think he has the greatest wrestling in the world. In this fight, I'm taking Alatengheili. I think Alatengheili is going to be able to stop the wrestling of Victor Hugo and keep this fight standing. I think Alatengheili has way better striking, way better cardio, way better experience and toughness. Maybe in the first round, Victor Hugo does land a takedown, but like I said, Alatengheili has good jiu-jitsu. He has good wrestling. He's going to be able to survive just like Torricall, the dude that he fought from Peru or whatever. I'm going to say that Alatengheili has way more high-level experience. He's going to be way better. He's got way better UFC experience. Give me Alatengheili at underdog prices here. I think that he gets a decision win. Maybe he could get a finish. He hasn't finished that many people, but maybe if Hugo slows down, he can get the finish. Because let's see, Hugo's been finished in 3 of his 4 losses, 2 KO and 1 submission. So you know what I mean? It seems like if he don't get his game off, he'll find a way out. But give me Alatengheili. I'm not sure how he gets it done. Next fight is in the men's featherweight division. We got Alexander Hernandez versus Damon Jackson. Alexander Hernandez is coming back down to 145 again. Well, he fought Bill Algeo last time, and then fought Jim Miller at 155 before that, and fought Billy Q at 145. But he's coming back down. He's 0-2 at 145. But he's fighting Damon Jackson here, man. He's 14-7, currently sitting at minus 231 years old, 5'9" with a 72-inch reach. Damon the Leech Jackson's 22-6-1. Currently sitting at plus 165, 35 years old, 5'11" with the 71-inch reach. So you see Damon Jackson's going to be 2 inches taller, but Alexander Hernandez will have 1 inch of reach. And it's weird that the UFC, like Alexander Hernandez has been known to have gas tank issues, and he's up at 155. He drops down to 145, and the UFC literally gives him 3 junkyard dogs that use cardio to win their fights and push a pace. You know, Billy Q, Bill Algeo, and now Damon Jackson. So we'll see how this one goes. But Alexander Hernandez has explosive striking, but I don't think he keeps his power down here at 145. Because up at 155, when he would get a guy like Damon Jackson or somebody slower than him, like a Chris Grutzmacher, he's knocking them out with punches early in the first round because he's just so much more faster and so much more powerful. But I don't know if he's keeping that power down here because he really didn't hit Billy Q. He hit Billy Q with some good ground and pound, but as far as just standing, man, he was, and he should have got him out of there. Just what we see now, but explosive striking, man. He's got good wrestling and good jiu-jitsu too. He's definitely going to have better jiu-jitsu or wrestling than Damon Jackson. But as the fight goes, you know what I mean? He's going to come down a little bit as the cardio goes. But that's been his problem. He's gassed out in a lot of fights. He did look more reserved and measured against Bill Algeo, and it was a pretty good fight, but he got dropped in the second round. But he made it pretty close. Damon Jackson is a junkyard dog. He's got decent boxing. It's not the best. He's very hittable, but he actually does pack a little pop in his punches, man. Even when you watch him fight Billy Q, he was beating him up in the first round, came out in the second round and just couldn't land the wrestling after that. So he kind of started getting beat up by Billy Q there. But you seen him front kick Pat Sabatini to the face, then get the ground and pound win. He was able to out grapple Dan Argueta, which is a good fight. Was able to overpower and beat up Camuela Kirk and finish him. So he's had some good fights, man. He's been knocked out cold a couple times though. Jumping knee in PFL, that he like sat down in like a prayer mode after he got knocked out with that one. And then Taporia got him, Ige got him, and he went to decision with Billy Quarantilla. But he uses his cardio to push a pace. He's got decent wrestling, a college wrestling background. Using like I said, the grappling and striking to just push a pace on his opponents. And if he can break them, he can get the win. This is going to be a very, very tough fight and a good fight because if Alexander Hernandez doesn't get the finish in that first round, this fight could get very, very ugly because Damon Jackson's just going to be there throwing punches, trying to grapple him, doing everything, man. And I don't know. This is a tough fight to call. I'm going to take Alexander Hernandez. I'm going to say that he's able to stop the wrestling, and then he's going to catch Damon Jackson, either put him out cold with some big shots or just be able to stop the wrestling and just beat up Damon Jackson. Hernandez is going to have way better striking. So give me Alexander Hernandez here. I want to say he finishes him, but it's another tough fight to call. So give me Hernandez. Let's go by decision. Next fight is in the women's bantamweight division. We got the return of Germaine de Randamie. We got Norma Dumont versus Germaine de Randamie. Norma Dumont is 10-2, currently sitting at -200, 33 years old, 5'7" with the 67-inch reach. Germaine is 10-4, currently sitting at +165, 39 years old, almost 40, 5'9" with the 72.5-inch reach. So you see Germaine is going to be 2 inches taller with 5.5 inches of reach. She is a huge bantamweight. Norma Dumont's a very well-rounded fighter. She's been fighting at featherweight the last 2-3 years because she can't make 135. So we're going to have to see if she can even make it down here. Now all these girls, Germaine's coming back to 135. Norma's coming down to 135. You see all these girls coming back because Nunes left. So now 135 is wide open. So we got all these people showing up and trying to make this weight class. You might have some 150, 125ers go up. Who knows? But Norma Dumont's very well-rounded. She's got pretty good striking. She's got a good clinch elbow, good clinch knees, decent takedowns, pretty good jiu-jitsu when she's on top. She's very heavy. She's got that dump truck, so she stays heavy on girls. But she's not that dangerous, and she slows down as the fights go, you know. She did it against Macy Chiasson, where Macy Chiasson was able to get the win. Macy Chiasson was out scrambling her the whole fight, landed some good shots, and just out-muscled her and out-gassed her. But she is well-rounded. She is good. She has good striking, and she's got good grappling and wrestling. It's all pretty mid. It's like a little bit above mid. It's not, none of it's great, but it's above mid. Germaine de Randamie, the Iron Lady, has phenomenal striking, man. This girl is freaking super tough. Her Muay Thai that she's been practicing for 29 years now is powerful. She's got awesome striking. She's got long combinations, good uppercuts, good elbows, serious power, man. She's got nice clinch elbows and clinch knees. So I think that she's going to have the advantage in the clinch with the knees and possibly the takedowns and grappling in this. You've seen her choke out Juliana Pena in her last fight. Now, she hasn't fought in 3.5 years, which is, you know, a big red flag. But before that, look, she finished Juliana Pena. She lost a decision to Nunes where Nunes had to grapple for dear life for all 5 rounds to win. Then she finished Aspen Ladd in 16 seconds, beat Raquel Pennington, the current champion, beat Holly Holm. These are all when these girls are still in their prime. Beat Larissa Pacheco, who is the champion PFL that beat Kayla Harris. This girl's got serious wins. There are only 2 losses in the last freaking 13 years are to Amanda Nunes. You know what I mean? And she's beaten good girls. Holly Holm, Pacheco, Pennington, Ladd, Pena. So her grappling's highly improved. The takedown defense, her offensive grappling with chokes, and her striking. She's going to be better than Norma Dumont everywhere. I'm picking Germaine de Randamie. I can't bet her because of the 3.5-year layoff. We don't know exactly what she's going to come back and look like. But I'm telling you right now, she's going to be much more meaner. She's going to have the much better striking with the way more power, and she's going to be way more dangerous on the ground. So give me Germaine de Randamie, man, and that line's off. I think that line should be a pick'em, or she should be the favorite. The only reason that line looks like that is because she's been gone for 3.5 years. But Germaine de Randamie should be like better every single place in this fight. Main event time. We got Brendan Allen versus Chris Curtis. Brendan Allen versus Chris Curtis 2. Brendan Allen is 23-5, currently sitting at -200, 28 years old, 6'2", with a 75-inch reach. Chris Curtis is 31-10, currently sitting at +165, 36 years old, 5'10", with a 75.5-inch reach. Like I said, this is a rematch. Chris Allen had knocked out Brendan Allen, hit him with some big knees to the body, got him up against the cage, and just started beating the crap out of him. They called it punches and knees, but yeah, it was knees to the body, head, everywhere. And it was a pretty good fight up until then, but that just happened. But since then, he has been on a tear, man. Brendan Allen has excellent kickboxing. He's been switching stances with his kickboxing, throwing head kicks. His right head kick's super fast, man. He's got power in both hands. He's been his boxing's been looking super crisp. He's got good knees to the body, good knees to the head. You've seen against Bruno Silva. He went to war with him. He got dropped. He dropped Silva and then ended up choking him out. Looked great against Paul Craig because Paul Craig has no striking and he's able to take him down and out-grapple him. And Paul Craig was happy to go into the grappling with him. Against Andre Muniz, that was a very close fight, man. They fought kickboxing for the first 2.5 rounds, and then Brendan Allen took him down in the third and was able to get the finish there, was able to choke out Christos Giagos. Has just looked really good. He's a very well-rounded guy. He's got decent wrestling with excellent jiu-jitsu. If he had way better wrestling, he'd be so much even better, but his wrestling's pretty mid. But sometimes guys take him to the ground like Giagos, and then he ends up reversing it and choking him out. He did it with Kevin Holland too. But well-rounded fighter, man. Good kickboxing, good grappling, pretty good cardio. His only drawback to me is his durability, man. He's been finished. He's got 5 losses, and he's been finished 3 times, 2 KO, and 1 submission. The 2 KO, 1 came to Chris Curtis, 1 came to Sean Strickland. Chris Curtis is an excellent southpaw boxer, man. He trains with Sean Strickland, so you know he's a dog. He can go 5 hard rounds. They fought on the same card when Strickland defended his title about 3.5 months ago. So you know he's been in the gym, staying in shape because this is a short notice fight. But Chris Curtis, powerful southpaw boxing. His biggest attribute is he's super tough. He's so durable that he can take your shot and then counter it with a big left and put you out, and that's what he does a lot. He's got excellent takedown defense and even better get-up game. Brendan Allen kind of took him down for a second and then tried to take his back, but Chris Curtis stood right back up. Brendan Allen tried to take him down a couple times in that fight and just could not do it. And then they had to stand and strike in that little cage. And Brendan Allen was landing the better shots the whole fight. He was landing he landed even a head kick, was landing powerful body shots. He was landing good punches, but you could see every time Chris Curtis hit Brendan Allen, it was just affecting him more until finally, just like when Sean Strickland was fighting Brendan Allen, Brendan Allen's doing all this stuff, doing pretty good. He couldn't take Sean Strickland down. Strickland actually took him down, so they made it. Then Strickland let him up, so he kept it standing. And from there, Brendan Allen had the more versatile striking, but Strickland was just punching him in the face, and you could tell Brendan Allen didn't like it. So if Brendan Allen can't finish him on the feet and he can't take him down and finish him, eventually I feel like Chris Curtis is going to hit him with some big shots because Chris Curtis got some powerful southpaw boxing, uses great countering with the forward pressure. He's got excellent knees to the body. You've seen him finish Phil Halls with the knee to the body. That takedown defense is just crazy. You've seen he stopped 20 takedowns versus Rodolfo Vieira. The power is going to be too much. That's what it comes down to. Brendan Allen is probably going to win the first round. He's going to come out. He's going to try a takedown or 2. Chris Curtis is either going to stuff him and just stand back up or just stuff him in general. And then they're both going to land some big shots. But as we've seen, Chris Curtis is tough and he carries power, man. He was even hitting Calvin Gastelum with big shots in the 3rd round. His hands are super fast and he kind of just touches you with the jab, touches you. And then next thing you know, he hits you with that big shot that catches you off guard and puts you out. And I think he's going to do the same thing here to Brendan Allen, man. I think in the first round, Brendan Allen's going to come out. He's always throwing stuff and engaging. Brendan Allen really doesn't stay still. He likes to be pushing a pace. He likes to be the grappling, wrestling, or striking. And that's what he did in the first fight. And Chris Curtis loves that. He's just waiting for his moment to blast him with a big left hook or a big straight left right down the pipe. And over 5 rounds in this small cage, I think that's what's going to happen. Chris Curtis keeps the cardio to keep this fight standing. Brendan Allen lands good shots throughout the fight, and Chris Curtis just hits him harder, and eventually puts out Brendan Allen, man. I'm telling you, it's a durability thing. Brendan Allen's going to beat a lot of dudes at 185, but like Sean Strickland, Chris Curtis, possibly even Marvin Vettori types are going to beat him because they can stop the wrestling, they can stop the jiu-jitsu, and from there, they're going to have a little bit better striking, but the durability is there. Now, I don't know about Marvin Vettori because he doesn't hit very hard, so Brendan Allen could work the outside with him, try to get some takedowns, all that, and possibly beat Marvin Vettori. But Chris Curtis and Sean Strickland are going to be Brendan Allen's kryptonites. He can't finish him on the feet, and he can't grapple him, and he don't have the best durability in the world. So give me Chris Curtis. I'll bet him at plus 185. I really like him. I think that number's off. We've already seen that he can get this job done, and yeah, man, I just think that at some point in this fight, he's going to land the big shot and get Brendan Allen out of there, especially in the fight standing all 5 rounds. So give me Chris Curtis, man. I really appreciate you guys checking this out, man. Appreciate everybody still sticking by me. I've had a couple rough weeks the last couple weeks, making some bad bets, bad decision, bad luck, all bad. Everything's all bad. But I'm going to change that this week. I got 3 underdogs. and one parlay, and then I'm going to put in another bet here in the next couple of days. I'm going back to betting at the casino. I'm not betting online no more. Even if like I'm not going to be doing many shows on Friday night now. Me and Johnny are going to be doing Defend Your Units for pay-per-views on Friday night. We're always going to do our Defend Your Unit on Wednesday night, but Friday nights, we're just going to be doing pay-per-views from here on out. I got a lot of stuff to do on that night. That's when I can go put in my bets, and I got to make other stuff, layer cake parlay. So that's what it's going to be. To be honest, like I've been so behind and everything and just been on my phone too much, and my girl complained about it and a lot of stuff. I'm probably going to be like, I got like 5 platforms and I can't put enough time into all 5 of them. So coming up, I'm probably going to be getting rid of 2, maybe by September, getting rid of 3 and just get down to like 2 and, focus on just the betting and everything else, which I do focus on. Even if I have a bad week, you can guarantee I put in at least 8 to 10 to 12 hours of tape study. I'm about to do it tomorrow for UFC 300. Sometimes it just don't work out, man. It's hard to cap Jamal Emmers, coming out and just fighting like that for the first 2 minutes. It doesn't make sense, but it's the game we play. It's the risk we take. But I do appreciate you guys hanging out with me, watching my videos, hitting that like button, hitting the subscribe button, and hanging out with us on Wednesday. So I'll see you guys on Wednesday night, man. See you guys.
Suck you, Johnny K. Ha 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 ha.